My wife called me a beta male, left me and our son for a rich alpha at her law firm. Now that he dumped her, she's crying and wants me back. But I'm not her consolation prize. I was with my ex for 7 years, married for 5. When we first met, it felt like one of those rare, movie-type connections. Instant comfort, instant chemistry. We just made sense. After a couple of years of dating, we tied the knot. Life was good. We were in sync, always laughing, dreaming together. It felt right. Not long after getting married, we had our son. He's 4 now. He was born during the pandemic, and when everything shut down, my wife decided to quit her job to stay home with him. I was working as a line cook and picked up Uber Eats on the side just to keep things afloat. It was exhausting, but I didn't mind. Providing for my family gave me purpose, and I was proud of it. As things started opening back up, she told me she didn't want to become one of those women who loses their spark after becoming a mom. She wanted to finish law school and take the bar exam. I was fully supportive. I was proud of her drive. She put in the work, passed the bar, and landed a job at a firm downtown. Thanks to her friend. We'll call her Dumbo, 33F. That's where the cracks started forming. She started making really good money. Enough that she came to me and said I should quit my job and stay home with our son full-time. Her reasoning was that she wouldn't have time to be hands-on as much anymore, and she didn't want our son in daycare. I resisted at first. I loved my job. I had worked my way up to becoming a chef, and it was a passion for me. But she kept insisting. Eventually, I gave in. That's my biggest regret. After I became a stay-at-home dad, she started pulling away. She was constantly at work, constantly networking on the weekends, sometimes even out of town. When she was home, she was irritable, cold, dismissive. Our intimacy faded into almost nothing. The woman I had married felt like a stranger. Sweet, nurturing, silly gone. Replaced by someone who seemed angry to even share the same space as me. Therapy helped me see where I went wrong too. I didn't speak up. I didn't tell her how it made me feel. I thought that being a good man meant keeping my mouth shut and just doing what needed to be done. That was a mistake. The silver lining in all this was my son. Being there for all his firsts, his little milestones, his hugs, and sleepy snuggles, it made the darkness a little easier to bear. He was my anchor. Then one day, she sat me down and told me she wanted a divorce. I wasn't shocked. I'd felt it coming. Still, I asked her if she was sure. Maybe we could do couples counseling or try a temporary separation. She shot it all down. Then she hit me with the real reason. She had met someone else. A partner at her firm. That crushed me. I could handle drifting apart. I could handle stress, resentment, miscommunication. But cheating? I never saw it coming. Not from her. She told me this guy had taken her on trips, showed her what it's like to live in luxury. The same trips I thought were for work. We argued. I asked her what happened to everything we built. I reminded her how I worked 2 jobs during the pandemic, how I supported her dream, stayed up with our son, made every sacrifice I could. She told me those weren't real jobs. That I was just a cook and a delivery guy. Not someone with ambition. That this new guy, he was a real man. An alpha. She said I was too feminine. Too soft. That she needed someone who knows how to take care of a woman. She even went as far as bragging about his height, his muscles, his status. She said he didn't even want to make their relationship official until our divorce was finalized, which she thought was so classy. I almost laughed at how delusional she sounded. Then I asked her about her son. And she said, "You can have him. He likes you better anyway." That right there? That broke something in me. To hear a mother casually discard her own child like that? It was the final nail. I won't pretend I stayed calm. I lost it. I yelled. Said things I'm not proud of. And she looked surprised, like she had never seen me that angry before. Then she left. After that, I fell apart. I cried almost every day, for 2 weeks. Not because I still loved her, by then I think part of me had already let go, but because I didn't know how to do life without her. I'd been with her for so long. She had become part of my identity.
But I had a kid who needed me.
I couldn't spiral. I couldn't drink it away or rage it away. I reached out to my old workplace and begged for a few shifts. They gave me weeknights, just enough to bring in something. I slowly started climbing back. I stayed quiet on social media. Meanwhile, everyone was singing her praises. calling her a strong, independent woman who broke free from her chains. Apparently, I was the metaphorical shackle. Not a single person reached out to check on me. And you know what? That's what pushed me into therapy. I had to make sure I didn't let the bitterness rot me from the inside. Months passed. Divorce went through. I focused on being the best dad I could be. I started feeling human again. Then this week, I got a call from an unknown number. It was her. She was sobbing. Turns out, Mr. Alpha dumped her for someone else. She's too afraid to confront him because of the power dynamics at work. He's a senior partner, after all. She told me everything. About how she felt after childbirth. How the pandemic made her feel ugly and unwanted, even when I constantly told her how beautiful she was. How Dumbo, her newly divorced, bitter best friend, whispered poison in her ear, telling her she was too hot for me, that she needed a man on her level, that I was a beta holding her back. She said she missed me, missed how I used to pack her lunch, how I reminded her to take her vitamins, how I left notes in her bag. She said she didn't realize how much she needed those little things until they were gone. She asked if we could try again. I told her no. I told her I missed her, too. But I'm not a backup plan. I'm not a safe harbor you return to just because your other boat sank. If things had worked out with him, I wouldn't even be getting this call. She said she wanted to reach out a week after she left, but was too prideful. I said, that's your problem, not mine. Since then, my phone's been blowing up. Friends, her family, even distant cousins I haven't spoken to in years. They're all saying I'm heartless, that she was manipulated, that she was vulnerable, that she needs me now more than ever, and I'm turning my back. And yet that hurts. It hurts that people see me as the villain because I won't let myself be used. It hurts that no one cared how I was doing when I was being called a feminine beta. When I was raising our son alone. When I was crying myself to sleep. The only person I respected enough to respond to was her dad. He's always been a decent guy. He asked if I'd come over this weekend for a talk. A resolution. Just a conversation, no pressure. He wants me to bring my son. So I agreed. I'll hear them out. But I'm not changing my answer. I've worked too hard to find myself again. I've come too far to go back to being someone's second choice. I'm not the consolation prize. I'm the prize.